Father, we thank you. Children are the heritage of the Lord, and the fruit of the womb is his reward. Children are your idea. Father, you taught up children and family and home. You instituted the family in the Garden of Eden. You ordered children. You commanded them when you said to Adam and Eve, be fruitful and multiply. You said that the barren womb is never satisfied. Lord, the word declares that I am fearfully and wonderfully made by you. Therefore, I am perfect and able to conceive and have children. You said that I will be a fruitful vine by the side of your house, and our children like olive plants around our table. We are not ashamed but happy, because our quiver is full of children. Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chinyere. Thank you so much for stopping over today, because I have a huge announcement to share with you guys. My heart is bursting at the seams. I can't keep this to myself any longer. Chris and I are comfortable enough to share this announcement with you guys, which we call a miracle. It hit us like a thunderbolt, not like we're not anticipating it, but it just seemed like for the last 6 years we have cried, we have laughed, we have questioned God, we blocked our ears to external noises, and at some point we just decided to do absolutely nothing but just trust and believe him to do it for us. And today we can happily say, for this child that we have prayed for, the Lord has granted us our heart desires. I'm very pregnant, guys. This is me at 11 weeks 5 days with a cute bump. Yes, popping every day as the days go by. I'm very pregnant. My goodness, I'm so thirsty right now for only standing up. Somehow, we still haven't told anyone yet about this huge life transforming miracle that has happened for us. And it's just Chris, I, and our healthcare provider that are aware of this miracle right now. For me, I'm not sure about him, but for me, it's been one of the most difficult secrets for me to keep, because I'd always felt, especially after 2 years of trying to conceive, I just always felt that once I conceived, once I missed my period, I'll be standing on my rooftop with a placard screaming down the roof that I am finally pregnant. Because if you've gone through this journey, you will know how difficult it is. After a while, you could probably even sink into depression. It can be really frustrating, especially when everyone around you starts to get pregnant, stress-free, and it's just that one question in your head, that why exactly is it not happening for us? Like, what exactly are we doing wrongly? I still haven't had my ultrasound scan done yet. I'm really looking forward to that experience. I can't wait. It's supposed to be next week when I get to become 12 weeks. I have a date scheduled for that. Fun fact, I am a twin, a very identical twin, and I know that in the past a few people had said that God was going to give us double for our troubles, and twins also seem to have a high tendency to conceive twins themselves. But thinking deeply about it, I'm not too sure about how interested I am to have twins, because when I think about my childhood experience as a twin, I remember that we were always bickering, always fighting. It was such a competitive life. I mean, like, even when someone suggested that we'll have twins, it was always like, God forbid, I don't even want to have someone that looks like me in this world. But somehow over the years, after we've grown up, we seem to have come to terms with appreciating the beauty that comes with having twins. So I'm looking forward to seeing how many fetuses I have in me, in my uterus, and then what exactly the baby looks like, because I still haven't seen that yet. So where do I start from? Sometime in May 2020, I came across a YouTuber by the name Farah Hukai. It was the very first time I was watching any video of hers, and Farah was talking about how she had gone through infertility, excuse me please, for the last 9 years, trying to conceive with her husband. She was talking about how, you know, life is not all rainbows and sunshine for them as they portray here on YouTube, because you know, a lot of people, a lot of YouTubers or influencers don't exactly share the deep dark secrets of their lives. It's usually just the very light-hearted part of what exactly they're going through, because sometimes it's very difficult to just sit in front of a camera and share your vulnerability with anybody, because you're not exactly sure about how they're going to respond to you or how they're going to react to you. And somehow I felt that, okay, let me backtrack a little bit. In November 2017, I started my YouTube channel. So I started to have this thought in my head that I wanted to talk about my own infertility journey. At the time, I had just been married for 3 years. I didn't exactly know a lot. I hadn't experienced a lot, but I felt that I wanted to document my own journey. I also wanted to carry other people along and make them feel like they were not alone on this journey, because it can feel very lonely sometimes. And so I had this conversation with my husband, telling him about the thoughts that I had in my head, and he literally just told me, perish the thoughts, because he's of the WhatsApp group of people that believe that you should keep your struggles, keep your challenges to yourself until they eventually become a story that you can use to encourage other people. Being the free-spirited person that I am, I really couldn't exactly understand why exactly he felt that there was such a shame attached to infertility, because there is actually a stigma attached to it. And so we went back and forth with arguments. I tried to convince him, he was also trying to convince me, but of course, being that it's not exactly a story for only me to share, I had to also respect his own wishes and wait until when he was ready for us to bring out, or for me to share anything at all with the world. So I went into making videos of my life in Ireland as a Nigerian girl, sharing all my experiences, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And somehow I seemed to find my own people here on YouTube who also wanted to listen to that kind of conversation. And I kept on making those videos. Of course, sometimes I came up here and posted videos, and some other times I just sunk into a very dark, deep dark place where, especially on the first days of my period, I just didn't feel like, it felt like my creativity had been sucked by something, and I just didn't feel like showing myself on the internet at all. And I went through that struggle back and forth silently until this time in May 2020, when I'd now been married for 6 years, trying to conceive for 6 years. And I decided it was time for me to talk about this heavy thing that I had carried around for a very long time after coming across Farah's video. And the topic today is, when are you going to get pregnant? Or for some other people, they just come direct to the question, when are you going to have a baby? It might be out of love with the way some people think about it, or just the thought of, oh, I know this person well enough to ask her. And to be honest, after talking about that, about infertility, I started to feel like I had lifted up a weight off my shoulder. It was a very cathartic feeling that I had after making that video and posting it on YouTube. I wasn't even sure about how much longer I was going to be waiting to conceive. I just felt that it was something that I wanted to do. I just wanted to be vulnerable. I wanted to let go of this thing that I carried around for shame for a very long time. And I, of course, spoke with my husband, and he was fine with it. In February 2020, we decided it was time for us to go to Nigeria, which was the second time that we were making a trip to Nigeria after we had gotten married. The first time was 2 years post-marriage, and to be honest, I struggled to make that trip to go visit my family, because if you're anything African like myself, you will know that after 2 years of marriage, you are out of the honeymoon season. In fact, from your wedding, they're announcing to you that we are coming in the next 9 months to celebrate your twins with you. And so those subtle questions of why exactly are you guys waiting? What is keeping you? Are you not praying enough? Are you pursuing careers? You know, those subtle, annoying questions will be coming around once in a while. And I was scared to go home, but we eventually made that trip the second year of our marriage. And then in 2020, we decided, after about a year of, I had a myomectomy, it was time for us to go relax with family. So we made that trip, had fun, came back, and then we decided we wanted to start exploring the options of fertility treatment. Prior to that, of course, a couple of doctors had recommended to us that we should go into fertility treatment, but for me, I just not felt comfortable. Not that I didn't feel comfortable with going into IVF, I just didn't feel like they were giving me a good reason as to why exactly they wanted me to go into IVF treatment. I felt like I had not explored all my options before getting into fertility treatment. I felt like we still had a chance to keep trying naturally. I know that IVF can be, I mean, it's open to everybody to accept. I don't have anything against it. I just didn't feel that I was ready for it. I kept telling Chris that I was not mentally or psychologically ready for it. But somehow, after we came back from that Nigerian trip, I just decided, okay, it's time for us to start looking into IVF treatment. And so I just moved from Ireland myself also. So it was like change of hospitals and change of doctors. Hey guys, good morning. It's July 21st, 2020. The time is 9 a.m. and today Chris and I have our first fertility consult here in the UK. So we've had doctor's visits in Ireland. I was able to have a surgery there. We're able to have some treatment, and yeah, we're going to be continuing on this baby journey here in the UK because we still don't have any baby and we do want one. And so yeah, we've registered now to see a doctor and we have an appointment for this morning. It's supposed to be 10 a.m. so we're going to be heading out of the house soon enough, and yeah, I'll keep you guys posted as to what exactly gets to happen at the end of it. And yeah, wish me luck, or wish me all the best. Yes, God's grace, God's hands upon me, God's blessings upon us, in Jesus' name, amen. So we started the process and we have started running tests, and we just wanted to know like how much exactly it was going to cost us. Of course, through the years of waiting, we had been saving just in case that was going to be an option that we'll need to explore. But with IVF or with IUI, with all these treatments, you never know how many cycles you have to go. So even if you've saved money for it, you just don't know how much exactly you're going to be saving when you start the journey. So the doctors were telling us that there was like a lottery thing here in the UK that some people get sponsored to run fertility treatment. So for us here in Cambridge and Peterborough, we do not qualify for it, so it wasn't even an option for us to consider. We had to now start thinking about, okay, getting ready to pay for an IVF treatment. Somehow, while we were going through the pre-treatment test process, I got to conceive and our miracle got to happen. To be honest, this year 2020 was that year when I actually sat down to think deeply about, do I really want to conceive? And it wasn't just, you know, the deep thought of, do I really want to conceive for the sake of, you know, pleasing my family or pleasing my parents. It was more like, okay, this world seems to be getting crazier by the day with this pandemic that is happening, and I just didn't understand like how exactly I was going to be able to give a child a choice or like a beautiful life, you know, if I brought one into the world. It was just a very difficult time for me to go through, especially with all the precarious effects that the pandemic came with. People were losing jobs, people were losing family members. It was just a crazy time to be thinking about having children. And I know that a couple of things that I had come across on the internet, I'd seen one a friend of mine posted something on her page which put the fear of God in me. It was like a pastor's quote, which I had to question her about. It was more like the world was going to end in the next 5 years. If it doesn't end in the next 5 years, it ends in the next 10 years. I had to ask, like, please, which part of the Bible did you people see this thing? You and this your pastor, you know? So those kind of things I came across, and I also realized that a couple of families or couples were saying that, a few couples were saying that antenatal clinics were different. Couples were not allowed to attend together, ultrasound scans, and even the labor procedure, it was just the wives that were allowed to go in for their labors without their partners. And it was quite difficult for me to, you know, relate with that or get myself to the point where I'll now be like, okay, yes, I want to bring a child into this world. But somehow, I guess, God still found us worthy enough to bless us with this miracle, because I wouldn't say that I'm that girl who, you know, prayed the most or fasted the most. I'm probably just that person who held on to hope constantly. I would say that this year 2020 was the year that I just said, you know what, for church, I hadn't been to church for a very long time. In fact, the whole of 2020 I didn't go to church. Prayers, it was so difficult for me to pray. I used to call my friends and be like, please pray for me, because I can't even pray by myself, you know. I don't even know what to say any longer. I got tired of praying about the same thing, praying about trying to conceive, because I felt like it was almost becoming an idol for me. But I'm really grateful that God still found me worthy enough to bless me with this child, and I'm really grateful that this day has finally come. Honestly, I can't express the joy that I feel having not to go through another cycle of my period and the frustration that comes with trying to conceive a child. So this is me just sharing my story here and bringing hope to every woman out there who is also going through this journey, and praying that soon enough your own miracle will get to happen for you. So thank you so much for watching. As I get into pregnancy every day, of course, the concept of miscarriage keeps on becoming real to me, and I can absolutely understand when people want to just stay in seclusion and not share their pregnancies with every other person, because I've come to realize that this is a miracle and it's a really sacred period for every woman. So yeah guys, this is me just sharing my announcement here with you with this beautiful glow. Thank you so much for watching up until this point. Of course, I'll be bringing other stories to you as we go through this journey. I'll be telling you guys about my infertility journey, my infertility struggles, the symptoms that I'm now experiencing, because now we are experiencing symptoms of pregnancy. And I'll probably also let you know what exactly I did differently after trying for a very long time to conceive with some condition called fibroids. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Until then, take care of yourselves. Goodbye.